we're going to be showing you the meeting between the running political parties in Denmark in respect to the local government election coming up. And the meeting is between the political parties and foreigners in Denmark. And they want to tell the foreigners what all the political parties have in stock for them. That is what we'll be showing you. Please come with me.
Starting this election, one major discussion has been the salary of politicians, of council members in Denmark. Now, a lot of the people up here are mayors and even a Lord Mayor, and they make a bit more, but we've actually had a major discussion in Denmark about the politicians not making enough money. And this is because they haven't had a raise in 15 years. So actually, these are hard-working people, and they don't just do it for the money, because there is not that much money in Danish politics. So I think it's great that we are together with, especially the council members, I must say, that we are together with people that are so dedicated, that are working, even though they are not paid that much money, and even though they haven't had a salary in so many years. So that's one reason why politicians could be frustrated in Denmark. I read a recent research that's just coming out now, I think it just went out this week, actually going through what are politicians in Denmark frustrated about. What are the Danish council members frustrated about? And the one thing that's very significant and that council members in Denmark is always frustrated about, and this is a good thing for us tonight, that is the other council members. That is the one thing that goes through years, through time, council members are always members. So maybe we'll see that, maybe that will help get a vibrant debate tonight. But actually the other thing that they're also very frustrated about, and that goes a bit against what our dear professor said earlier on, that is that the GDP, the amount of money, he said that they actually have a lot of influence. But the one thing in this research that is most important, the biggest change, is actually that they are finding them more and more controlled by central government. So they're actually feeling that budget restraints and the whole influence from the municipality level is losing ground. So in general, the council members of municipalities in Denmark are feeling frustrated because of each other and because of their losing ground. So maybe that might also be a part of the debate tonight. But in general, we have a good system and we're not here to be frustrated. We're here to have a nice debate. And as said earlier on, we have this system where we start from the top. So we start with A, and that is also the lineup that we have here today. So the first speaker, not because he is Lord Mayor, but because he is of the party that starts with A in the lineup, is going to be Copenhagen.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your kind welcome and introduction to come here tonight. Dear friends, dear Copenhageners, it is absolutely fantastic to see that so many come here tonight to debate the future of our city, Copenhagen. As Lord Mayor of Copenhagen, I'm very proud to see that so many have taken interest in local politics and demand a say in the future of our city, Copenhagen. I think it is important to say that everyone living in Copenhagen should vote, and no matter if you are a foreigner or a Dane, no matter if you are living here for 6 months or your whole life, I ask you also to speak to your friends, encourage them to vote as well. Open minds matters to me and to my colleagues, not least to some of them. It is very important that you go and vote. Copenhagen is also a city, your city, a city where we take many decisions that affects your everyday lives. We have a budget for more than 36 billion Danish crown, 36 billion for schools, for daycare institutions, welfare programs, affordable housing. All these things make a difference in your everyday life. My vision for Copenhagen is that of an open and international city, a city with a high quality of life. We are making Copenhagen storytelling about quality of life for all citizens. A city where everyone is welcome, no matter where you are from or how much you earn in your salary. During my 4 years as Lord Mayor, we have working hard on making Copenhagen more open, more international school places, international citizen service, international house, and in 2014 as well a new call center. Just to mention a few of our initiatives. I know that it is never easy to settle down in another country or in another city, finding a place to live, new friends, and new job. It's always difficult. Copenhagen is no expansion to this. Together with my colleagues in the Social Democratic Party, I can promise you that we will continue our efforts to make Copenhagen a better place to live and to work, also for foreign citizens. Thank you very much for inviting us to have this debate tonight. I hope that you will go out and discuss with your families and your friends to increase the number of foreigners who take the right to vote. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Yes, this was the first speaker in the line. So we have 7 speakers of approximately 2 minutes, and I think Lord Mayor did almost show as a role model, almost only. So we turn to the next, which is Tommy Petersen from the Danish Social Liberal Party, and actually, Tommy, you're the only candidate here, the only one not yet elected. But 2 minutes, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. I'm very happy to see so many of you turned out today. As we heard earlier, last time only a little more than half of all Copenhageners voted. So it's really important that you're here today and that you go and vote. Because as we heard this evening, the municipality of Copenhagen is responsible for a lot of things that affect our everyday life. As you just heard, our candidate is the Social Liberals. We're a centre party on the political spectrum, and our values are very much guided by our belief that everybody should have the right to live as they are, and that everyone should have equal rights and opportunities. I was born and raised in Copenhagen, but it's always traveled. The last 5 years I've worked for the United Nations. I've lived in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Jordan, in all sorts of fun places. So I fully understand the challenge of going to another culture, another country, and setting up your whole life, finding a place to live, a gym, getting to know people. Now, Denmark has not been spared of the international financial crisis. We've lost 160,000 jobs. In Copenhagen alone, 27,000 people are unemployed. So it's not easy to find a job in Copenhagen at the moment. Nevertheless, that's why the Social Liberals are very focused on creating growth and creating jobs. And as some of you may have heard, the World Bank has just named Denmark the best country in Europe to do business in. So we are doing something right in Denmark. However, we're still a little short of jobs. And this is where you come in. We need your ideas, we need your experience, we need your connections to your home countries, and we need to ensure that we work with you on realizing that potential. Therefore, I'm proud that my party has also been at the front in making solutions to that end. We've helped set up an international house here in Copenhagen, which is kind of a one-stop shop where you can come and get all the information you need about setting up in Denmark and getting to know all the rules and regulations. Also a Copenhagen host program, a Copenhagen career program for spouses where they can build a network. Because as you know, you have to network to get work. But we can do more, and that's why we are also proposing to focus much more on the possibilities for internationals to start their own businesses. It's become easier to become an entrepreneur, but we still need to make it a lot more easier so we can bring your ideas to market. We want Copenhagen to be the #1 city in Scandinavia when it comes to offering the best business and investment environment. And we want Copenhagen to be the #1 city when it comes to offering an open, friendly, and including atmosphere where foreigners feel welcome. I hope you will enjoy the evening, and I hope that by the end of it you become a little bit more acquainted with the nuances of the Copenhagen politics. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much, Tommy. Yes, and then we're slowly moving down the list. This is We now to F, which is the Socialist People's Party, and here we have the Mayor of Health and Care.
Now we move over to the ladies' line from place on the left. I don't know why. We're not from the same parties though. My name is Nina Thompson. I'm 37 years old. I have 3 children and live here in Copenhagen, as well as all my colleagues here on the stage. I'm a member of the SF, that is a reformed Socialist Party. I've been for the last 4 years Mayor of Health and Care. Means that I have the responsibility for the healthcare, not the hospitals, but the rehabilitation when we have a chronic disease. And I have the responsibility for the care for the elderly people, meaning the home care and the nursing homes as well. Here in Copenhagen we have no local government, but I, as a member of SF, almost feel like I'm part of the local government together with the Social Democrats. And the challenges our city faces, that's my responsibility. But the good things that we have accomplished, I think that is my responsibility as well. I don't know if you can have dreams in local policy, but I think we should have. I think the city that you all came to live in is a great city. I think it's a wonderful city, a city that everyone can afford living in. It's a city that's very green and that has a lot of bikes. I hope that you have noticed that when you go around the city. It's a city with a lot of equality, and that's some of the things that I think make the city a great place to live, and some of the things that I want to grow in the years coming. For my party, the green issues are very important. We want a city with more bikes. We want a city that is CO2 net neutral in 2025. We want a lot of equality. For me, a city is a city that everyone can afford to live in. Not only the people with high income, but also all the students should be able to live in a city as Copenhagen. I want good schools that can give challenges, both to the very intelligent children, but also to
The Mayor of Culture and Leisure.
Thank you very much. I've been the Mayor of Culture and Leisure for 6 years now. I've been a member of the City Council for 12 years. And being a member of Venstre, for the Liberals, and the Liberals are not like the Liberals in the US, but more to the center. Just let me point that out before I start. For us, it's very important to welcome everyone to Copenhagen, everyone to Denmark. And of course, especially welcome people that bring knowledge, that will bring a lot of accomplishment to our city, that will bring growth, that will bring new jobs, that will be an access to our city and to our city's development. And I actually am not afraid that the students that come here would just stay here for a few years and then leave again, and we will think, oh, now they spent 2 years here and we don't know what we got out of that. Because I know that when you've lived here for 6 months or for maybe 2 years, you will go home or go back to, well, out in the world, and you will be ambassadors for Copenhagen. I certainly hope that you will do that anyway. Because in Copenhagen, we are trying to make sure, and that's one of the things that I've worked on the last 6 years, we're trying to make everyone living here be able to take active citizenship. We have the International House that I hope that you already have met, or else I know that they are here tonight as well, where you can make sure to get all the right information. So when you're running around, don't know where to go or what to do, go to the International House. And when you're running around and don't know what to do, then go and see the Copenhagen Volunteers. Because we have a fantastic organization here in the city where you can actually join this fantastic group of people that actually do volunteer work, that will actually try to help all the great events and festivals that take place in Copenhagen. And you can be part of that. They have an international language, they have an international approach to that, but it's taking place in Copenhagen. So I hope that you will focus on that as well. And the best way to be part of Copenhagen, the best way to be integrated in the Copenhagen society is to be active, to be where the other Copenhageners are. So I hope that you will be able to also see that tonight, that taking part of the active social life of Copenhagen is a very important place to be. Thank you.
So we can see in the debate maybe we need some clarifications on what being a liberal means here in Denmark compared to many other countries. That can be a bit confusing. So maybe we should return on that later, also as we have two parties being liberal. Then finally we turn to, with the letters, we turn to number 7, and the one that is the most fun, I think. We turn to liste Ø. That might be something difficult to pronounce, but liste Ø is the final speak, and this is a spokesperson and the lead candidate, Morten Kabel.
Thanks a lot, and thank you all for coming. I'm very honored to stand here in front of you. I'm Morten Kabel from the Red Green Alliance. You can say the letter Ø in Danish would also be the acronym for ecology, økologi, and that would be one of the main reasons actually why the letter was chosen in its time. I'm 43 years old. I have a teacher's background. I'm born and raised in Copenhagen actually, and has been spokesperson for the Red Green Alliance starting this year. We run for council on a number of issues. I've handed out some flyers telling you a little bit more about it. But one of the main issues for us is fighting poverty and injustice in the city. Today, 1 in 7 Copenhageners are living below the poverty line. That means that 80,000 people within the municipality borders are actually today in a poor situation. We need to do something about that if we want to call ourselves a rich country, a rich city, where we actually take care of each other, where we take care of everybody living here. For us, the whole sense of community, the whole sense of actually being making solidarity, being able to run the city together, is not possible if we accept that 1 in 7 live below the poverty line. For us as well, we need to change the focus in traffic. Today we have a huge focus on cars, on the fossil fuels. We need to change that if we want to become a leading green city in the world. Today we claim to be the best city in the world in bicycles, and that's cool, and that's good branding. But the reality is that all investments in Copenhagen throughout the last 10 years are still only a tenth of the money we actually use on roads. We need to change that focus. We need to move from cars, we need to move from roads up onto light rail, to trams, and we need to make a bigger focus on having more bicycle paths, making actually the city more easily accessible for people running bikes. Today, more than 2/3 of Copenhageners don't use their cars, when they go to school, when they go to jobs, and so on. That's great, but it's also necessary if we want to become the first carbon neutral capital in the world by 2025, which is the official aim of Copenhagen. So if we want to achieve that, then we have to make the change in focus. We have to make it possible to become easier around the city in public transport and in cars. Those are two of the main reasons why the Red Green Alliance is running for election this year, and I'm looking very much forward to the debate and the questions from you. Thank you.
So this is 7 of Copenhagen's finest. I hope you all enjoyed their talks, their visions, and I hope you were starting to see some of the divisions also, that they don't agree. We talk a lot about in Denmark that local politics is about consensus and pragmatism, but I think there is also the dividing lines, and I think we're starting to see them, and we'll get deeper into the dividing lines, so when you leave tonight you will know exactly where to vote and where to go, even though we have so many different opportunities to go for. But I think you were asked to give a speech, each of you, on your visions on Copenhagen as an international city. And I think we should just do that once more. So each of you, extremely briefly, just tell me how you see, and I will be ruthless this time. I gave you a lot of time the first month, this time I will not. So just very briefly, how do you vision Copenhagen as an international city? And I would like to actually do it in one sentence. 2 might be allowed, but so briefly you can do it.
We have to create more jobs. We have to have a higher growth rate than we have now. In 2010, we have a growth rate of 4.5% in GDP. That's fantastic.
Yes.
But now it's too low, and we have to extract more.
I'm losing track of
more
sentences.
international experts to Copenhagen to increase our growth rates and our jobs creation.
Yes. Copenhagen as an international city. Tommy?
We need to be able to compete with international cities in the EU, such as Berlin, Hamburg, London, and so forth. And we need to become much more efficient with our public sector, and we need to create much more private jobs.
I don't know how disciplined politicians are in the countries where you come from, but you see here, one sentence, it's difficult. Okay, we'll continue on, and you said that you were the most traveled Dane from your age, so you must really know something about internationalism.
I think it's important that we're better at communicating in foreign language, first of all, and I think we also need to create a more international cultural scene, and then of course we need to address the basic issues that keep businesses from creating jobs in the city, such as taxes and the traffic policy and so on. That's some of the main issues.
Yes, and as you see, of course, the politicians that are last in line, they have longer time to respond and think about this, so they might give better answers than the first one. So please take that in your evaluation. That might be the difference. Yeah.
Well, my vision of an international city is a city that is attractive to international companies, even though we have a high tax rate. It's a city that welcomes international citizens, where you can feel welcome and where you and your spouse can find a job.
Yes?
Well, it seems that my ambition is very, very low. I think an international city for me is a city where I can find a very good Chinese restaurant.
Yes.
And it's open 24 hours.
I don't know if we have that.
And the menu is written in Danish, Chinese, and English.
Thank you. Well, I think it's very important that we constantly have an open-minded city that will welcome everyone, and actually also welcome everyone in all the languages that are important. That we try to create jobs, growth, have international schools, daycare centers, and all that, so you can actually live in Copenhagen without being able to speak Danish.
Yes. Morten, finally.
I was about to say that if we can agree on Cantonese, then perhaps the Liberal Alliance and the Red Green Alliance can agree on something. No, for me, an international city is a city that is diverse, that is open, and where the main key words for how we treat each other is inclusion and solidarity.
All right. So definitely all here. Yeah, give him a hand. Definitely these 7 of Copenhagen's finest are all internationalists and believe that Copenhagen should be an international city. That is not where we get the dividing lines. So I hope that you will help me get through the rest of the session. We need your questions, and please, I don't know if it's a tradition in other countries as well, but if you go to a party assembly or some kind of that anywhere in Denmark, half of the questions will not be questions but comments. Probably a Danish tradition. I'm sure you have an upbringing that's much better than many of the Danes. But please ask a question, and please stand up. And I think we'll take 3 questions to begin with, and you can ask them broadly. They don't have to be specified towards any specific person. They will answer as they see fit and as I allow them to. And yeah, please stand up, say your name, and yeah, I think that's about it. And make it short, concrete questions. Let's try it. So
I'm going to put you on how to get the candidates to stand apart, because so I'm a Dane actually, but I'm here because I don't know who to vote on, and what you said so far didn't really change that. Nobody wants the welfare cut, but some want low taxes and some don't. And also I like this poster. It says actually what you want on it. All other posters just have a picture. So you're supposed to vote because of how people look. I don't know. Yeah, and I like that, so I give you credit for that. But I'm not going to vote for you anyway. Yeah. So the question is, so you said something concrete about what you want to do. Nobody else did. Okay. So I need a new introduction, I guess. But as you said, it's a common another question. Thank you.
Right. Please don't take after the Danes. Please don't.
Yeah, sorry.
Amanda Hammer, I'm at the Centre of African Studies, Copenhagen University. I'm really thrilled by the fact and feel very much this is an international city. You've all committed yourselves to that. At the same time, the national government doesn't have quite the same commitment to foreigners, to internationalization as people for the city of Copenhagen. How will you deal with the contradictions and the tensions between what you're saying you want here for Copenhagen and what we understand the national sort of values and policies are towards foreigners in general?
Yes, right.
Undskyld, jeg kan ikke tale engelsk. Måske jeg skal få en til at tolke.
Yeah, we'll take the question later and we'll try to translate.
Okay, som politiker skal der først og fremmest være moral i orden. Jeg vil derfor stille en spørgsmål til Heidi Wang. Du har fortalt alle kineserne, du har gjort dem en stor tjeneste at ansøge en stor pulje på 1 million kroner til den kinesiske forening, men pengene kommer aldrig på Province County. Foreningen har kun refunderet et par 100.000 kroner. Og hvis resten af penge har dækket din honorar af udgifter, vi vil gerne have en forklaring. Og derfor vil vi gerne have, at du fremlægger ærligheden, ligesom Lars Løkke Rasmussen får den der 1 million kroner. Man skal ikke sige, at man tjener for andre, når man tjener sig selv. Tak.
Okay, so this is a very specific question towards Heidi Wang, which of course we have a chance to answer. That's about funding for 1 million Danish kroner, as I understood. And how and why has, that was the question, not more of this money been distributed? Sort of much. I think we can take maybe 1 or 2 more questions. There's a guy just right behind you.
Yes, I know Wanga from the Danish Green Party. I have a question to Liberal Alliance. The question is, recently we went to the Taiwanese party. We're supposed to stand up, have a short speech, but you managed to cancel this arrangement. Now, what kind of democracy you want to advocate in Denmark?
Okay.
And
I think we'll cut off there. As I said in the beginning...
No, I think this is very important because election is about democracy.
Yeah, we got your point about the...
It's not even allowed other people to stand up, to speak.
Yes, great, thank you very much.
Good evening. I have a question about business, which is about 4 years ago I had the opportunity to ask the Lord Mayor about Expo, the international culture and business exhibitions. I understood that his predecessor had begun the process of trying to attract an expo to Copenhagen in 2020. For me, that's a very good example of bringing the world to Copenhagen and introducing Copenhagen to the world. Unfortunately, I haven't seen too much in the newspapers. Could I ask the Mayor what the progress is on that? And as a second point, Copenhagen capacity is responsible for inward investment and has been praised for its work. How do the candidates anticipate the next 4 years of bringing more business, international businesses to Copenhagen? Thank you.
Right. We'll take 6 questions this round. We have a right behind you. Yes. Final question this round.
My name is Lawrence, and then I'm from IT University of Copenhagen, and I'm studying software development. My question is to all the candidates and basically they all talk about promoting Copenhagen as a lively place to welcome foreign students into the community. But my point is this, that when you talk of educational level in Copenhagen here, it's so expensive for foreign students. If you are not part of the EU, I mean, you cannot afford it. Basically, I pay 50,000 Danish crowns a semester. So I mean, they are telling us, if all the candidates are telling us that they are promoting Copenhagen as a lovely place to welcome international students into the community, then what is the point? I don't get it. Because every semester I have to pay 50,000 Danish kroner as an African into the Danish government account. So how do they promote what they are talking about? That is my question.
Think in a time you're going to take it from them?
Well, I hope so, because the development of Copenhagen is going in my perspective, in the right direction. We get more and more people living here. We are having more and more families staying here instead of going to the suburbs to live here, and more those families want more of right-wing government in the city as well. So hopefully within, I don't know, the next few years.
And I can see in the Danish politics, like somebody like Manu Sarim, who is the integration minister, and you've got Osman Sekic, and you've got Farouk Nadim, if I'm not mistaken. These guys that I've just mentioned, and Nasakada as well, who works with America Think Tank. These guys have got kind of foreign background, but there's none from African background. What is the problem? Why don't you have Africans?
Well, actually, we have one member right now at the city council.
What's the name?
His name is Latte. He's from
Ghana.
No.
Okay.
Oh, but I know he's from an African country.
Right.
And he's from the Social Liberal Party.
Okay.
And we had for the last election we had a woman from I can't remember where she was, because for me it's not that important where people come from. It's more important what they bring into the city council.
Right.
I'm from the western part of Denmark, so the way I was raised is very different from the way my Copenhagen friends has been raised. I think it's more important to look at what you bring in, what kind of person you are, that look at the background that you have. But I think that the diversity in the city council would actually almost reflect how the city looks today.
Right. Yeah. And one more last question. Based on the last story we've just had with GGI scandal from your party chairman, if he offers to help you in your campaign, would you allow him to do that?
Of course, he's my chairman. He will be here on Saturday, and we will go on a bike ride together, and we will go and see some of the developing areas in Copenhagen. The Copenhagen Arena, where the
Politics when I was doing business. I left Parliament, National Parliament, after 20 years serving as minister. And then I went out doing business.
Right.
And I was a chairman of a Danish-Nigerian company.
Okay. Me too, Frank. Very, very wonderful presentation you did. And I've been following the Danish politics for a long time. And tell me, the Social Democrat has always been the Lord Mayor in Copenhagen. What is the secret? What is it that you're doing that others can't do?
Yes, as we have been running this city for 110 years now, celebrating this year. And I think we have done that because we have always focusing on livability.
Thing that I've always wondered, that is, when I look at the Danish Parliament, you are an old boy in the class, one can say that, because you've been in the politics for many years. Like, I'm thinking about somebody like Nadim Farouk, the minister of the one that is the minister of church and Nordic World, the one that is called Manu Sarim, and Nasakada that is out, Muslim Sekic. All these people have foreign background. But the Africans, the one with African backgrounds, are not in the Danish politics. What is the problem? Why are they not coming in? And what kind of message do you have for them?
I think that you can give the explanation, but when I look at the people I know from Africa, I know a lot of people from Africa because I have doing business in Nigeria, in Lagos, and my son had been working a year in Uganda at the Danish embassy in Kampala, and he was also working for MS in Uganda. He's working a lot in Aalborg. he's also running for the city council in Aalborg, my son, and he's working a lot together with African students in Aalborg. So I think it's when African don't went into politics in Denmark, it's because you have to know somebody. You have to be a part of a network, a political network, a business network, to be involved in politics. So African in Denmark must be involved in personal network. My son, for example, my son will give a network for the African in Aalborg, and I hope a lot of my colleagues in Copenhagen, youngsters, will introduce African people living in Copenhagen to politics in my city, because I love Africa. I love
Nice to hear. And if I should introduce some Africans who are interested in Danish politics, will you be their mentor?
I will do that. Of course I will.
You promise me that?
Of course.
Nice to hear that. Then, before we go, you were this close of being the political chairman for Social Democrats. But the beautiful Helen came, she took it from you.
Yeah.
Now, after that, you said bye-bye to politics. You went into business and you became a director of one telephone company. But you came back again. Apparently, they could not do without you. But this time around, I hope you get it. If you don't get it, is it going to be bye-bye to politics?
No. Now I'm back in politics. I will stay in politics in Copenhagen. I hope I run for it. I run to be a lot mayor again for 1st January next year. And I'll do all my best to win this election.
Frank Jensen, thank you so much. And good luck.
Thank you.